Dear students, I welcome you all for this online class. In the previous classes, we discussed about first chapter from the inorganic portion, that is general principles and isolation of elements. Now I am going to discuss about one of the important chapter from the physical chemistry portion, that is solutions. From this chapter, you can expect total 7 mark questions, that is 2 1 mark questions, that is question number 1 and 2 from this chapter, and 1 5 mark question. It may be of 3 plus a 2 marks question. Usually you can expect 3 marks numerical, that too calculation of molar mass of a solute, either in case of lowering of vapor pressure, elevation of boiling point, depression in a freezing point, or osmotic pressure. So from these 4 colligative properties, you can expect 1 numerical for 3 marks and another 2 mark question. So total 7 mark questions from this chapter. And before starting the classes for this academic year, already we discussed the blow up syllabus, then question paper pattern. In question paper pattern, we maybe discussed that from physical part, you have to answer any 3 questions out of 5. Each question carries 5 marks. And also you know that there are 5 chapters from the physical portion. First one is solids, solutions, electrochemistry, chemical kinetics, and surface chemistry. So you can expect 1 question from each chapter. Then selection is left to you people. How to select? You select the chapters in such a way that you should be able to answer 1 mark questions as well as 2 marks questions. So as per the blueprint of the question paper, you all know that from solids you can expect 7 marks questions, solutions 7 marks questions, from electrochemistry 8 marks question, from chemical kinetics 8 marks question, and from surface chemistry 5 marks questions, or sometimes a maximum of 6 marks question. Therefore, if you want to answer 3 questions from the physical portion, I think this chapter is very, very important. So, let us start with the introduction. What is a solution? Types of solution, then components of the solution, then types of binary solutions. Then afterwards we shall go for the properties of the solutions. So in this class, let us have only introduction. What are solutions? First question. In first year, in the first chapter, that is the concepts in chemistry, you may come across one of the part called as matter. In that part, already we discussed about solutions. That is, a solution is a homogeneous mixture. What is meant of homogeneous mixture? When you mix two or more substances in any proportion, two or more reactants in any proportion, if a mixture looks like a single phase, single form or single state, such a mixture is called as, now I am using the word mixture. So that mixture is called as homogeneous mixture. Homogeneous mixture. There may be a solid homogeneous mixture, liquid homogeneous mixture. Gaseous mixture is nothing but almost all are homogeneous only. So therefore, solutions are the homogeneous mixture of two or more components of non-reactive. Because when you mix two or more components, they should not supposed to react each other. That's why I use the word non-reactive. Is it right? So, solutions are the homogeneous mixture of two or more non-reactive components. I think you may have a clear-cut picture about the solution. Example, you take a mixture of nitrogen and hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen. That's a gaseous solution, you can say. Gaseous mixture, homogeneous mixture. Sugar plus water, called a sugar solution. Salt plus water, salt solution. So this is a solid plus liquid, isn't it? So there are different, what you can call, solutions. Basically, depend upon the number of components present in the solution, they are classified into binary solution, ternary solution, quaternary solution, etc. First, what is a binary solution? A solution containing two components, that is called as binary solution. Usually, what you are going to say, mixture of a solute and a solvent. Very simple. Mixture of solute and a solvent. That homogeneous mixture of solute and a solvent. That is what you can call binary solution. So depend upon the nature of a solute and a solvent, or depend upon the physical state of the solute and solvent, there are 9 types of binary solutions. That we shall discuss it afterwards with example. Then ternary, if a solution contains 3 components, that is called as the ternary solutions. For example, sugar salt solution. There is a mixture of sugar, salt and water. That is ternary solution. Then quaternary solution, a solution containing 4 components. That is a best example, common example, lemon juice. That contains 4 components. One is water, sugar, salt and citric acid. That is a lemon. That is called as what you can call quaternary solution. So this is about types of solution. Now we shall move to our actual syllabus. That is only binary solutions. What are binary solutions? Already we discussed. A solution containing only 2 components. That is homogeneous mixture of solute and solvent. Now what is a solute? Solute is a one which is present in the smaller proportion in the solution. In a solution, whatever the substance which is present in the smaller quantity, smaller proportion, that is what you can call solute. Then what is a solvent? Solvent is a one which dissolves solute to form a solution, which is present in the larger proportion in the solution, which is present in the larger quantity. For example, sugar solution. Water is a solvent, sugar is a solute. So what you can say, solute is a one which dissolves in solvent to form the solution. Then solvent is a one which dissolves solute to form the solution. Hence you can conclude binary solution is a homogeneous mixture of solute and solvent. I got an idea. This is about a solute and a solvent. Based on the physical states of the solute and the solvent, there are 9 types of solutions. How many? 9 types. Because according to permutation combination, there are 3 physical states. Hence you can expect 9 types of solutions. Now let us see one by one. Because in 1 mark you can expect example for the different types of solution. Now let us start one by one. First, here I can write solute, solvent, then example. First, let us take what you can say solute is a gas, solvent, better you start with solid. Already I told you that solute should be present in smaller proportion. Therefore, in many organic reduction reactions, you are going to state that passing hydrogen gas over palladium catalyst. Do you remember that reaction? Reduction reaction. Same thing here also, what you can say, hydrogen gas on palladium. So that is what you can call gas solid solution. Gas solid solution. Next we shall move to liquid solute, and the solvent should be same, that is solid. That means solute should be liquid. Just imagine which one, which is the best example. Very simple. Mercury in, because mercury is in liquid, isn't it, in gold, or mercury in zinc. Is it right? Because mercury is a liquid metal, and we are going to mix with what you can say different metals like gold, zinc, etc. So that is the best example for liquid solid solution. And third one is solid solid. Everyone will say example alloys, isn't it? That is the best example, because solute and solvent are solids, and we are going to get alloys. Alloys are nothing but a homogeneous mixture of two or more metals, and most of the metals are solids. Therefore, this is the best example. This is one set of a solution, solid solutions. Solid solutions. Now we shall move to second type, same gas, but here liquid. Very simple. Example, oxygen dissolved in water, or carbon dioxide dissolved in water. That you all know, that carbonated liquids, all soft drinks. That is the best example of a gas liquid solution. Is it right? Next, liquid, isn't it? Liquid. So very simple. Alcohol in water, benzene in toluene, etc. Because both solute and solvent are liquid. Third, solid and liquid. This is very, very common type of a solution. What you are going to is common type, because oftenly whatever the solutions which are used in the laboratory, they are all what you can call solid liquid solution or simply liquid solutions. Example, sugar in water, salt in water, sodium hydroxide in water, potassium hydroxide in water, etc. Is it right? So this is another set of solutions, that is liquid solutions. Moves to third type, what you can call gaseous solutions. First, as usual, gas. Very simple. You can quote an example: oxygen in nitrogen, oxygen in hydrogen, many, isn't it? Oxygen in hydrogen, oxygen in nitrogen, many, isn't it? But actually, you may have a concept that air is a solution. Sorry, it is a heterogeneous mixture, because there will be moisture. It contains hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, a small amount of carbon monoxide, etc., and other gases. But in addition to that, there will be a water. So it is not a homogeneous. Air is not a homogeneous. It is heterogeneous mixture. So, oxygen and hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, etc. are the best example for gas in gas. That is called as a gaseous solution. Next, liquid gas. Liquid in, what you can say, gas. Moist, I say, moist air. That is nothing but water present in air. Water present in air. That's why usually we used to call moist air. Means moisture, means water present in air. Air is present in larger proportion, water present in smaller proportion. Then last type, that is what you can call solid and gas. That is very simple. What you can say, camphor means always you all know that it get sublimized at room temperature. Hence, it is always stored in airtight bottle. Hence, the vapors of what you can say, camphor present in nitrogen gas. Camphor present in nitrogen gas. So, these are the 9 types of binary solutions. 3 types of solid solution, 3 types of liquid solution, 3 types of gaseous solution. Therefore, usually in 1 mark you can expect example in case of a gaseous solution, that is a liquid gas mixture. Then gas liquid solution, as well as liquid solid solution. Usually, because other types are very common. Therefore, we never expect example in case of a common type of binary solutions. Sorry. Only if there will be a somewhat a difficulty, isn't it? Only such examples we can expect in the examination. Okay. Dear students, this is about what you can call types of binary solution. Is it clear? Before going to properties of a solution, first we should have somewhat idea about strength of a solution, or commonly called as a concentration. Strength or commonly called as concentration. Why you need, sir? Very simple. Already discussed that in 5 marks questions you can expect 3 marks numerical, isn't it? To solve the numerical, we need one of the important, what you can call, term, concentration, especially molarity or molality. Therefore, board included the term concepts, what you can call concentration. Now let us start. What are the terms used? What is the strength? What is the concentration? Very simple. How much amount of a solute present in the given volume of the solution? That is what you can call a strength of the solution, or what you can say concentration. Often you are using what you call 10% solution. In a laboratory, we are using 10% solutions. What it means a 10% solution? What indicates the 10%? Therefore, there are different terms used to express strength of solutions. That is normality. Second one is molarity. Third one is molality. Fourth one is parts per million. Mole fraction. Then mass percentage, volume percentage, mass volume percentage, etc. Isn't it? These are the different terms. Suddenly, you may have one doubt, isn't it? Why there are so many terms used to express strength of the solution? Because for different solutions, we need different terms. For example, solutions which are prepared with acids, bases, salts, oxidizing reagent, reducing reagent, where mass of these substances are expressed with gram equivalent weight. Then strength should be expressed with what you can say normality. Usually, if the mass of the solute expressed in molar mass, then we are expressing the strength of the solution by using molarity. Then similarly, if you express the mass of a solvent for the solution, if solvent is expressed in grams or kilograms, then we are going to express the strength by using the term molality. Then for dilute solutions, we are using the term parts per million. Then if a solution containing more than two components, then strength of each component is expressed by using mole fraction. And the last of these three terms commonly we use in the what you can call laboratory for the preparation of general solutions, isn't it? Now let us start with one by one. Though normality is not included in your syllabus, but at least you should have an idea what is meant by normality, isn't it? Because in competitive exams, you may require at least definition for the normality of the solution. Now let us start the first one. Already I told you that this term is used to express the strength of acidic solutions, basic solutions, salt solutions, solutions prepared with oxidizing reagent, solution prepared with reducing reagent. Because mass of acids, bases, salts, oxidizing reagent, reducing reagent, etc. are expressed with gram equivalent weight. That already we may be studied in the first year. All terms, whatever the terms just now I written on the board, all terms we have studied in the first year, in the first chapter itself, in concepts. Once again, I am going to highlight all these terms, isn't it? Now let us start with what is the normality of a solution. Very simple. A gram equivalent weight of a solute A gram equivalent weight of a solute dissolved in 1 liter of water or solvent. 1 liter of water or solvent, or a gram equivalent weight of solute present in 1 liter of solution. Very simple. That is called as normality of a solution or a normal solution. A normal solution. Nothing but it is denoted by the letter capital N. Hence we can write it 1N solution. A gram equivalent weight of a solute dissolved in 1 liter of water or solvent, or a gram equivalent weight of a solute present in 1 liter of a solution is called as normality of a solution or a normal solution or 1N solution. For example, 36.5 grams of HCl dissolved in 1 liter of water is called as 1NHCl. 1NHCl. Similarly, 40 grams of NaOH dissolved in 1 liter of water is called as 1NaOH. Is it clear? Means a gram equivalent weight of a solute dissolved in 1 liter of water or 1 liter of solvent, or a gram equivalent weight of solute present in 1 liter of solution is called as 1 normal solution. So next one is molarity. Already I told that it is a very common term, common concentration term used to express strength of a solution, almost all solutions. Even acid solution, basic solution, salt solution, oxidizing reagent solution, reducing reagent solution also expressed with the term what you can call molarity. Is it clear? So what is a molarity? Molarity of a solution is defined as the, now here, number of moles of a solute or a gram molecular weight of a solute. Number of moles of a solute. Because already you may be come across the concept molarity is what you call moles, isn't it? Because it is a very important concept used to express amount of chemical substance. Is it right? So number of moles of a solute or a gram molecular weight of solute dissolved in 1 liter of water or 1 liter of solvent is called as molarity of solution. Maximum time they ask this question and this definition for 1 mark. What is a molarity of a solution? Define molarity. Define molarity of a solution. Very simple. Number of moles of a solute or a gram molecular weight of a solute dissolved in 1 liter of water or 1 liter of solvent. Is it clear? Or number of moles of a solute or a gram molecular weight of a solute present in 1 liter of solution. That is called as molarity. It is denoted by the letter capital M. For example, a mole of HCl, that is 36.5 grams of HCl dissolved in 1 liter of water that is what you can call 1 molar solution, HCl a solution. Is it clear? Similarly, a mole of NaOH, that is 40 grams of NaOH dissolved in 1 liter of water is called as 1 m or 1 molar NaOH solution. Therefore, what we can conclude, this is the very common term used to express strength of solution, that is molarity. Still many terms are there to discuss, that I am going to discuss in the next class. Thank you.